Good day. You're listening to one of the brand new songs from the Medicine Music Collective Special Edition, the soundtrack edition that goes with the book, What's Eating You? It's called You. A-E-I-O-U. The question is why, huh? We're coming to you live from the Elevation Studios, located somewhere in the universe. The universe. Get your pencils, your pads, some water. Put a little Celtic salt in that water if you've got it, or just some sea salt, so you can absorb the information of the equinox. Let's get balanced, y'all. It's one of my favorite tracks. Call your friends, text your buddies, let them know that we've got a very special presentation for you today. It's all about you. Feel that groove? Do you feel that move? This is medicine music at its best. I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. The question is why? Why are we here? What are we going to do? Yes, 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 yes. Just say yes sometimes. Wow. You feel it? We all do. Thank you, thank you, thank you for arriving at this time. We'd like to bring in our special guest and co-host, Dawn Osborne. Let's see if we can get her in here. Hey,
Good day.
how are you being?
I am being excellent.
And I am doing well. Interesting, this concept of be, do, and have.
Right.
Isn't that interesting how it just comes out to, we got, how'd you say it now?
It's Dr. B, Sirius for B, Dawn Osborne for do, and have in abundance, in
Wow.
perpetuity.
Forever and ever.
Right.
I signed those contracts in the music business and missed that word because I didn't know what it meant. I was happy to get the little money and the fish and chips they were feeding us. So I just signed and I didn't know that I was signing forever. And a good question is, how many contracts have you signed? How many things have you joined up with and accepted that you didn't really realize the depth of what it was?
The
All of us
depth
have
of the
done that.
commitment.
The depth of the commitment. The one thing about contracts is they are made to be broken. And today we're going to talk about letting go of some of the things that we've committed to in the past, even the winter, as we move into the equinox. For those of you who are new, let us know you're new. If you're new, let us know how you found out about us, how you found out about this program, how long you've been into metaphysics or studying, higher knowledge. And if you've been here for a while, let us know you're here too and where you're coming from, how you heard about this, and who you are. Just a little bit more of the groove. First, we'd like to ask permission. It's important to ask permission, even of ourselves, to be ourselves. So each day we need to give ourselves a permission slip. You remember in school, Dom, we used to get a permission slip to go somewhere, to go home, to go to
Permission to move a hall pass.
a hall pass. You understand what I'm saying? We had to ask for it. You know what I'm saying? We just couldn't have it. So each day we could write our own permission slip to give ourselves permission to be, do, and have what we desire. So that permission slip is just an agreement between yourself and all your different entities that are within you, all the different parts of you, that we can move forward and rise in this season. So first, give yourself permission. You could just say, I give myself permission to, and then whatever after that, learn, love, be, have. And next, I'd like to ask for permission, or we'd like to ask for permission. Is it okay that we share some knowledge that you may not have heard before? Would that be okay? And would it be okay if we make this a little fun and a little entertaining? Would that be okay? And would it be okay if we share some information that may move you? It may agitate. Sometimes this new information agitates. And we need a little agitation. That's how the washing machine works. And it agitates, it shakes things up. So today we may shake some things up, and our highest choice is that what will come out in the wash will be something that's cleaner, clearer, and more definite. So thank you very much for being here. We got a lot to cover today. This series seems like it's becoming a series, I guess. This be do have thing. Folks said we want Dawn back. I said I'm coming back next week. They said no, we need Dawn. We can't do the show without Dawn. I'm like, okay, the dawn. This is the dawn of a new season. Okay, so it's time to wake up. Um, wow, how you doing, Dawn?
I'm doing really well. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Los Angeles, bright and early. The sun is out. And I don't know about in Georgia, but in California, the birds are on one. This morning, I want to say for the last 2 hours, there is a song that is just being sung. The birds are live and vibrant and quite loud this morning, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And as I give myself permission, I just want to say yes, yes, and yes. And I see so many people in the comments saying exactly that, yes, yes, and yes. And so I want to affirm that. And I'm so glad that you are all giving us permission in this space. And I'm well and I'm inspired.
When folks call me on the phone, I say yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
And somebody asked me, said, well, why do you just say yes, yes, yes? Because you got to say yes. And do you know that yes is an old term that had to do with Yaz? Yaz had to do with the way the sun went across the sky. So when you bow your head up and down, when you're saying yes, you're mimicking the way the sun moves. That means that you're saying I'm in alignment, right? With the
Mhm.
sun, with what you're saying. So you got to be careful when folks are talking and you're just bowing your head, yes, 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 and you really don't
Right.
want to go along with it. But yes, yes, yes says I am open to this new time. You're telling your body, your omniverse, your universe, your auric field, and you're agreeing to show up. How many of you out there are ready to show up and show out? How many of you are ready to make a shift? Truly, not just talk about it, but be about it, do about it so that you can have what it is you desire. Because that's one
Right.
of the things about this manifestation thing. And everybody's talking about manifestation. I read a book on called Manifestation, and I'm manifesting. And you ask a lot of folks, oh, are you manifesting? And they say, well, I'm still working on it. It's going to come in the future. I said, well, that's kind of like the religious thing. You got to wait till the future to have heaven on earth. But or heaven in heaven. You can't have heaven on earth, right? You got to have it in heaven. But
Right.
even your holy book says heaven on earth. And, we're creating heaven or hell each moment of each day. And today we are in the equinox vibration. And somebody said, well, Dr. B, actually, it was yesterday. Well, was it yesterday or was it today? When was it?
Or is it tomorrow?
Or is it tomorrow? When exactly is it? Who tells us they got to, the man comes on today at exactly 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Equinox begins. And it's that voice, you know what I'm saying? It's that
Mhm.
that voice of control and power that gets you to believe that things are exactly the way they're telling you. But to be perfectly clear, so we can get this, any event, whether it's an equinox, a solstice, full moon, new moon, they're not 1 day events. It's at
Right.
least 3 days. Because if you look at
Right.
the full moon, it looks full for 3 days, right?
Absolutely.
But now at the apex of that time is the time they're talking about, the apex. So today at 8 a.m. this morning, they say we were at the equinox when the sun was directly over the equator. So that's equal day, equal night, which
Right.
affords us a wonderful opportunity, right, Dawn?
Absolutely. It affords us a wonderful opportunity. And I, even when I'm starting people on cleanses with moon cycles and they say, I can't start my cleanse right now because I missed the new moon or I missed the full moon, you have that window. And you also have the opportunity to just allow it to flow, right? Because people get so rigid that they allow their subconscious mind to talk them out of opportunities, right? And so push through.
And let's talk about allow. When we follow nature, we move into a place of non-resistance. Nature follows the path of least resistance. Like water doesn't try to go uphill. Rain doesn't try to go back up into the sky. Well, I guess it does in some storm situations, but naturally there is a flow in nature. And as we move from winter into spring, there's a natural flow. So the trees and the plants are growing new leaves. It's amazing how just in a week here in Atlanta, the leaves are back. I think that's just
Mm,
amazing. They didn't
right.
wait for 8 a.m. this morning for the newsman to say that this is the equinox. Nature is springing forward and it's doing it earlier and earlier each year. So things are shifting, things are happening. How many
Right.
of you out there are finding that things are happening faster? Some of your thoughts, some of your feelings. You think about somebody calling and boom, they call. You think about, Dr. B and Dawn doing a webcast and boom, you turn on YouTube and they're on. We are connected to everything. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions are all radiating. And it's important to be like the trees and let go of the fall. I mean, of the winter, those cold hibernation months, and start coming out.
Right.
So equinox is about balance. It's about equality. It's about finding what it is that's been holding us down and holding us back, or tools that we used in the winter that we're no longer going to need in the summer. I'm from Connecticut. In Connecticut, the first of spring was time to do spring cleansing. And our mother would always say, let's take all your winter clothes and put them up in the attic or down in the basement and get out your spring stuff. You used to put it in boxes. I know out there in California, we never needed any of that. You wear the same thing most of the time, maybe a jacket in the fall. But on the East Coast and most of the world where it's colder, where the seasons are more drastic or more, or different, I should say, we had to let go of things from the winter and create balance. And our bodies are attempting to get to a place of balance. It's called homeostasis. And that's what we have to do mentally, because your mind is the first medicine. I'd like to say that again. Our minds is the first medicine, but also our minds are the first disease. It's all in our minds. The guy told me one time, Dawn, he says, Dr. B, I think that all this herbal stuff and all these crystals and stuff y'all into is just all in your mind. I said, you're right. How's it been working for you? Well, I do feel much better, but I still think it's only my mind doing it. I said, well, you try doing it without the herbs. Try doing it without the crystals. He says, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try it. I'm going to throw an experiment. He came back to Elevation a couple weeks later. He says, man, I need those herbs, man. So everything is in the mind, even though you're using a substance to help you get to a certain place. And we're working on getting into a place where we don't need those substances, but for a while they can assist us. Can we talk a little bit about that, Dawn?
So substance and tools, right? Because you reference both, right? The herbs are substance, but they are actually our tools, right? And so when you think about carpenter, he has a toolbox and he can't go build a house without his toolbox. He needs his little hammer and his thing. He's got his little toolbox. And his toolbox has everything equipped in it for him to complete the job. We have outdated toolboxes. As we move along and then move through life, we pick up these random tools that may serve us in the moment, but they no longer serve us. So we have to release those tools sometimes and reset our toolbox for the moment, right? And so, what's in your toolbox? And what questions are you asking yourselves as you seek this balance and this internal alignment? Are you asking where I'm overextended? Where am I depleted? Um, how much time am I spending in the masculine or in the feminine? Um, Many of us have mastered survival, but not balance. Um, and so as we move in this space, we need to not only look at the substances that we're using, um, but what about our tools that we're using? Um, and we don't have to struggle with asking the questions. Sometimes you just have to sit and allow, and the questions will come up naturally. Because sometimes when you try to force a question or move into questions, you'll be sitting there and a question will just come to your mind. And in that space, when you're feeling that, when your intuition is in that space and feeling it, that's your question, right? And so sit with it and allow it to guide you. Um, when I was younger and I was trying to follow along with my pastor in church, and I would always get so frustrated because the Bible's so big and there's so much information in there. Where am I supposed to go when I'm doing my private individual Bible study? And I found when I would just sit and allow and open the book and go to wherever it was exactly what I needed for that day. And so I use that as an example um, for Angel One in the comments. Sometimes you just have to allow it and ask, "What is my question for today?" Without having to search and ask the question. Be in the moment, right? What in your life is asking to be recalibrated right now, right? And so, Dr. B, I have a question for you. So during the equinox, we're invited into balance. So how can we identify what is internally out of balance that may be quietly eating at us without our awareness?
Well, first, we need a bit of a roadmap or a blueprint. So I've helped people, clients, come up with an idea of what they would like. Because many time we're asking, what would you like? And folks can't answer it because they automatically speak this language of disempowerment or these linguistic parasitic language where we speak of what we in no way desire. We have to first look at who we are or what we are and write that down or what you would like. Let's say you don't know totally who you are, but you would have to at least know if you're getting in an Uber or a taxi or getting on an airplane or a train, where are you going? What is your destination? So finding balance is when you know you have a destination and each day you're moving towards that destination and looking at each day what is pulling you away from that destination. What's eating you? What's pulling you? What's drawing your energy or draining your energy? And I find that one of the most draining things that we can work on with in getting balanced is our language.
Mhm.
If we say we're a carpenter, then our language should be moving towards building, creating. If we're an artist, our language should be going towards creating, building, composing, practicing who we say we are. To create balance so that we're not being sucked into things that are not us. Because the question is, well, who am I? Well, let's get to who you're not. Who are you not? So it's like a sculptor. I have a friend in Los Angeles. He makes these amazing sculptures, and he may start with a big lump of clay, and he's cutting away what is not a part of his goal. So to find balance, we have to first begin to cut away, circumcise the heart, cut away the things, move away from the things that are not us. But you have to be goal minded. First, create a goal. So as we are in this equinox vibration right now, it's about looking at writing down, creating, and feeling the essence of what it is we desire. If you can write in just one sentence what it is you desire, even just for today, let that be your goal. And in that languaging, in no way mention what it is you do not, as that word, do not desire. That's going to begin to balance us because we're focusing on something. What is your chief goal? So when we talk about staying in balance, we got to talk about, well, where are we going? So we can make sure that there's a roadmap, make sure that there's a blueprint that we're gradually moving towards each day. So that begins the process of cutting away. And that's what the equinox is about. It's we're cutting away what we no longer need from that last season, getting rid of the stuff. And a lot of it is the language. There's a language of each season. There's a language of each season. In the wintertime, they talk about, oh, it's cold. Oh, it's a bitter, it's a storm coming in from the east. And it becomes the language of survival in winter in the seasons where it gets really cold.
Right.
So our language now, it needs to be the language of building, of creating. You see, that's where we begin to fold into this space of flow and follow the flow of nature. Move into non-resistance. That's how we stay in balance. Look around you. How many things in your life they don't fit? You've been carrying them. They're hand-me-downs. How much stuff down in your basement of your mind and your subconscious are things that are not yours? So It's about choosing right now, maybe making a list and making it twice, finding out what's for you and what's not nice. Nice is an interesting word. Nice. Did you know the definition of nice? Did you know somebody? I'd like somebody to do some research here. I see Butterfly Kisses all over the place. She's on it today.
She is on it today. She is.
Butterfly, can you please put up the etymology of the word nice? This will blow your mind. We use this a lot. Oh, be nice. Oh, I gotta be nice. This is a word that when you realize it, what you're saying, you realize something that's eating you.
Yes. Nice equals to be stupid.
It's more than that. Put up the whole thing, Butterfly. Let them see. Let them find their own destiny. That's from Planet of the Apes, by the way.
And while she's doing that, I just wanted to spend just a second to look at Equinox and the fact that it's an invitation to restore balance internally, release what's no longer aligned, and step into a new energetic season. Right? And so what's happening in the universe is available to happen within you. So as the trees have let go of all of their leaves and all of the new leaves are coming, you have the opportunity to be in absolute alignment with the universe and have that be what's going on within you. Identifying what's eating you, and releasing everything that no longer serves you. So I see a lot of comments, foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless. And so I'm sure the Butterfly Kisses is getting the exact etymology to post it, but it's when you start realizing the disempowerment of the language of disempowerment and the words that you use continually, and the fact that you strive. How many of us strive to be nice? Or tell someone that's not nice. When someone's telling you that you're not being nice, you're not nice, that's actually a compliment. Say thank you.
And think about what that's doing.
Right.
Certain words were created for domestication. They were created to keep the people who were enslaved in slavery. So words that we use that we have agreed, right? We all have this agreement of what it means. We have labels and these definitions that are not the original definition. So your tongue, the way your tongue moves, we're creating energy the way words come out of our mouth. We're creating a vibration. Now we have one
Mhm.
vibration that says, "Oh, I know what it means," but then there's the original tongue. There's the original, you know, epigenetic vibration that comes from words. So this spring, this would be a word that we'd like to cut out, to cut away, to circumcise from our hearts. This niceness. You got to be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Super powerful, uh, super powerful people who are winners don't use certain words. It's not about being nice. Find another way to say exactly what you mean. Hmm? Find
Right, we
another
have
way to language your world so that you are planting seeds in the spring that actually grow the fruit that you would like to harvest later on this year. Nice is one we can let go of. So last week it was not, right?
yes.
How many people here were here last week and had, went through the week attempting to not use not?
So we had a couple of people really post, and if you're not reading the comments, you probably should, but foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless. And then the old French is careless, clumsy, weak, poor, needy, simple, stupid, silly, foolish, ignorant. And so Butterfly Kiss and Nourished Man, thank you so much for taking the time to pull that and to put it in the comments. And I think you really have to pay attention to your language, right? So nice. And then I don't know how many of you were able to intentionally speak without using the word not. And what that felt like. It's really powerful because you become absolutely aware of everything that you say, everything that you say. And it's really, really important. And so how many of you were able to do that? If you were able to do it, you spent some time doing it, let us know. Um, I see one person saying that it was a challenge. It's truly challenging. And we are conditioned to speak in knots.
Hmm.
So just like cleansing and doing the total body cleanse for 28 days and wanting to change the total makeup of your body, it really takes three consecutive 28-day cycles. You have to consistently, intentionally remove the word not from your vocabulary, and it will get easier. And you will see a transformation in what's showing up daily because you are speaking more of what you desire as opposed to the things that you do not desire. Um, and so it's a wonderful exercise, and you can do it and make it a practice.
Those of you who are just joining in, welcome. We are having a uh, wonderful discussion about how to create homeostasis. And we're doing it right on the equinox. We're in the equinox vibration, which is equal day, equal night. And a big thing about the equinox is balance, creating balance. And one of the places we can really get started on shifting, manifesting, higher levels of energy and more money, more love, more peace is to change our language. And because your tongue is throwing out seeds, you're seeding the world with your desires. See, thoughts turn into words, words become actions, actions harden into character. So when you think about that, your thoughts and you think in words. Usually the language that we were given it's challenging. It's not that English is a bad language, it's that you have to choose which words you're going to use and choose words that have an energy field that are moving you towards your destination. So you've got your blueprint, you've got your goal, you're thinking goal minded, you're creating a template, a blueprint, so that you can move towards your goal, so that you can spring from winter into this next season by planting words, sounds, thoughts, and feelings that are going to manifest. That's what we're doing, and we're changing our language, which changes our lives. I think maybe
I was going to say, can I read from the book on chapter 17, The Linguistic Parasites? Because as you're speaking this, one of the things that we desire is to not only give you information, but direct you to where you can find it and revisit it continually. One, hopefully you have the book, What's Eating You, because in the book, in chapter 17, I'm going to read from. It'll tell you all about linguistic parasites. And so we have all of these parasite cleanses on the market. The total body cleanse is a parasite cleanse, but the total body cleanse paired with What's Eating You, paired with the medicine drum, is a transformational cleansing experience that lives on more than the 28 days where you're taking the supplements, right? Because you're able to make a mind, body, spirit change. You're able to create intentional harmony by what you digest, by what you ingest, and by what you're feeling. So it touches on those 3 points. So I'm going to take a moment, because as Dr. B was speaking, he was speaking almost. It's amazing how this book is more than just words put on a page, because when you listen to Dr. B speak, he lives what he wrote. And so thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, habits harden into character. It's a Buddhist proverb. As you transform your life and cast off what's been eating you from the inside out, this ancient statement becomes essential. Every word is a seed. Every sentence carries a vibration. What you consistently speak shapes what you consistently experience. Now let that land. What you consistently speak shapes what you consistently experience. So I'm going to continue reading. We must learn to speak the language of empowerment instead of the language of struggle. I could almost stop at every sentence and say, let that land, but I'm going to continue because I want to continue reading this. Words are not just sounds. They are commands to the subconscious, instructions to your biology and frequencies that call matter into form. I'm going to have to read that one again. I know I said I was going to read right through, but it's so profound. Words are not just sounds. They are commands to the subconscious, instructions to your biology, and frequencies that call matter into form.
Okay, wait. No. That, I'm thinking back to the lectures that you did at Elevation back in the day and the talks that you had with folks. And this piece was essential. When I remember you talking, and you would pause and you would break things down. Could you please break that one down before we go any further from your point of view?
From time in the womb, sound is everything. I don't know if you haven't experienced, or if you have experienced, or just understanding that in the womb, I used to play music for my children in my womb. And then when they were born and I would play the song, they would then respond with eyes open and blinking, because that sound would ruminate in them. It ruminated from the womb. So words are not just sounds. It's an energy, it's a frequency. So they carry words, every word carries a frequency. So think about these frequencies that act as commands to the subconscious. Your subconscious mind is a file cabinet. It stores everything. So words are not just sound, they're commands to the subconscious, they're instructions to your biology. Your body, your biology responds to the sounds, to the frequency, and acts on it as an instruction. And frequencies, those instructions call matter into form. So if you're using a word like nice to speak about yourself, and the vibration of nice is frivolous, silly, all the things that we said it was, your body, your biology is saying, I'm supposed to be nice.
Hmm.
So now you become silly. Think about that. And one of the brothers posted that not equals knots, KNOTS. Right. So I'm not, so I'm saying this word, and I'll give you the exact example. I do is action. And then you put not behind it. So you're saying do and not. And so it turns it into a knot and ties it. And you don't know which way to go because now you're stuck in a knot because you said do and not at the same time. So you don't know whether you're coming or you're going, but you're absolutely in a knot, right? And so think about a knot where I wish I had a string. Oh, I do. You're taking the string and you're tying it and you're reversing it and you're bringing it around and now it's in a knot. It doesn't know which way to go. This knot is a slip knot. I can undo it very simply. But what if it's a hard knot? And then you're pulling it and you're trying to get it undone. I put my string in a slip knot. Everything that you put in a knot is not a slip knot and it's not easily undone. So when you talk about the frequencies that call matter into form, if you're calling matter into form and it's in a knot, what are you doing? Dr. B, I think I hope I broke that down well enough.
You know, so that we don't stay here forever, I'm going to let you go on and read some more, please. Because my mind is, you know, I'm buzzing right now. So I'm high on spring.
So language can be one of the most powerful parasites. It uses the resources of its host. Parasite uses the resources of its host. So language can be one of the most powerful parasites. It uses the resources of its host. Words influence thinking, emotions, and what we magnetize into our lives. Struggle is effort merged with disagreeable emotion. Hold on, wait a minute. I got to take that in. Struggle is effort merged with disagreeable emotion. Wow. And today it's common for people to decorate their conversations with complaints, drama, discord, judgment, and self-doubt.
Decorate.
Think of the fact that we listen to the news. It's all about drama, discord, judgment, and self-doubt, and complaints, and what's wrong in the world. I don't watch the news. I'll read what I choose, but I will not sit and watch a news broadcast because it's filled with complaints, drama, discord, judgment, and doubt. Not self-doubt, doubt in general that can cause self-doubt. When you hear so much despair, you begin to create doubt. So how we choose to speak becomes either a lockdown or a liberator. Every word evokes a feeling, and every feeling defines your perception of reality. Words and thoughts generate measurable energy that vibrates through every cell. Habitual speech patterns can either fortify or weaken your body. When the vibration of our language is pleasurable and high, the body moves into harmony, immunity strengthens, cells regenerate, and vitality increases. When the vibration of our language is pleasurable and high, the body moves into harmony, immunity strengthens, cells regenerate, and vitality increases. Every word we utter is a spell, so spell wisely. I'm not going to go into the word alchemy right now, but I want you to understand that and this is gonna be a great segue. When the vibration of our language is pleasurable and high, the body moves into harmony. When the vibration of our music is pleasurable and high, the body moves into harmony. So you have the basis of your language that creates harmony and sound, and then sound, the medicine music, the medicine drum that creates balance and harmony. And right now we're in the equinox. And so right now, today, we're doing a balance check-in. We're giving you tools to put into your toolbox to carry you through this next season, whether it's your cleanse, and you should cleanse every season. The book, chapter 17, will blow your mind. That's what I'm reading from right now. Or the medicine music that Dr. B was playing. You have the opportunity to take in harmony and create your internal balance, and then speak that continually. And someone asked me in the comments how to deal with grief, and I'm going to make a note of that, and we'll talk about how to create balance in that in just a little while. I did see your question, and I will be reading back through the questions because I'm not seeing all of them, but I will make some time to speak to them and to see them. And if for some reason you don't get the response you need, I'm going to put my email in there. Send that question in an email, and we'll post it. We're going to have to start posting, and I think that what we'll probably be doing is starting a thread where Dr. B and I have in threads the opportunity to answer your questions and post things that we know you want to hear. So send your questions via email. I'm putting the email in the chat, and you will be able to send your questions, and we'll start writing threads to speak to your comments. And Butterfly Kiss, can you just push my email there? It's Dawn Osborne 777 at gmail.com. It's not allowing me to post it. Again, it's Dawn Osborne 777 at gmail.com. And so if you have questions that you want us to answer that we don't get to during this time together, please send it an email. And we are going to start posting in threads and Substack so that we can give you more information and tend to the questions that you're asking.
Wow. It's so good to have you here, Dawn. And the equinox is like dawn. It is the dawning of a new season. And you are a breath of fresh air for us all. Dawn and I have known each other for many, many years. And I helped to introduce her to her man who, maybe he wasn't. Well, y'all had a child together.
We did have a child together, and he was my man for many years, and it was a blessing.
And that's beautiful. And you actually helped us at Elevation many, many years, move through challenging things, and you created equality at our place. Whenever you came, you'd look at things. And Dr. B, I remember you used to have those index cards. So you'd be in the back of the class. Dr. B, you're talking about that too much. Move on to this. She's got them. That's the actual ones. Oh my God. Yes, but it's been beautiful, and to watch you grow. I've really watched you go through an amazing transformation and create more equality in your life. So this is the dawning of a new era, a new season, and a new way of actually doing these webcasts. I like this, this yin and yang, this yin and yang thing.
Well, it's beautiful because what happens is we have the opportunity to create balance in so many ways. And I think that as I work with women, I want them to understand the power of the masculine and not to be so bent on feminine. Feminine cannot exist alone. And so we have the opportunity to show you the balance of feminine and masculine energy. We all embody both energies. But there is something about when you have the opportunity to work with a male and a female coach to receive energy at the same time from a male and female instructors, you get that balance of the male and female energy when there's no ego present.
It's
When
beautiful.
there's no ego present, and so I live to be in harmony with both parts of myself. Let that land, right? To be in harmony with both parts of me, because the masculine and the feminine exist in me. But if I allow the conditioning of society to make me believe that I have to be so feminine that I leave out the better parts of the masculine parts of me, then I'm not in balance. I'm forcing myself to push out parts of me that create balance in me. And so I know there's a lot of women that believe feminism is everything. And I believe in the divine feminine, but I know that you have to have that balance.
This is what we were thinking about when we made the cover of the book too. The yin and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is connected to its opposite. In order to find out what's holding us back, we have to look at what also can pull us forward. So we're sometimes always looking at the problems, but we also have to look at solutions or desires or goals. So today we're casting into the ocean of spring our goals. And I'm going to play a track, a brand new song using the medicine drum. That it's a new video we just did, and I'd like each person to focus on one thing that they would like to achieve. One thing, just pick one thing as we listen to this song and just imagine that it has happened. This is a brand new video, and I've never played a video here before. This is the first time. So this is Equinox meditation, and it's you're seeing it first here. Actually, it was on YouTube last night. It's on IG this morning, and here we're gonna play it live.
Wow. The magic of sound. That medicine drum is so amazing. It just raises the vibration and creates such an incredible balance. I can't wait to get mine.
It's on the way. So as you listen to it, I'm playing the right side of the drum. And the right side of the drum is the male side of the brain. It vibrates the frequencies that activate the male side of the brain. Then we go to another side of the drum, the other side of the drum, the opposite. And it's the feminine answering the male. So the male is putting out a spark. That's what male energy does. It's electrical. It's sending out sparks. But then the feminine side has to catch it. The feminine side is magnetic. It picks up that spark and creates atoms. So it is the feminine side that begins to create the balance. It's the feminine side of the electrical circuit called the cathode that is creating the atoms. When you start with a spark and you move that into a place of total creativity and improvisation, and you tap into the intuitive side and you match it with the intelligent side. So now we have intuitive intelligence. With there's balance. Everything is connected to its opposite. So what the drum is saying, what this track is saying, what this song is saying, that we must find balance by using both. We are both. We have to use it all and create equality. The Equinox is all about creating equality. So first of all, somebody was asking, they said, well, where's the drum? When can I get one? Well, they were out of stock for a couple of days. The first batch went fast. It was like, and they were gone. So we just received another batch of drums. So you can have one too. And one of the things that you can do with the drum, you don't have to be a musician to play. You just can play, have fun. And you tap on the little tongues, the little notes. And if you just play them slowly, softly, you're going to find one of those tones stands out for you.
Mm-hmm.
That resonant frequency in that tone is the one that is working to balance the part of you that's out of balance. In fact, as you come into balance, that note won't have the same resonance. So each note represents a part of the body. So some of those notes represent the kidneys, the liver, the spleen, the skin. Each note on the drum represents a different part of your universe, the world that you live in. And just sitting the drum in the room creates resonance, which is harmonizing the room. The womb is the room. So to create balance right now, by listening to that, we're balancing both sides of our brains. We're looking at harmonizing our entire system. And we're also looking to create homeostasis. All herbs, all medicines, all things that are natural are working to create homeostasis or balance. See, some things we got into doing based on habit that actually put us out of balance, saying things too many times, ruminating on certain thoughts and feelings too much, or eating too much of something. There were certain foods. I remember when I was attempting to get off chicken, that was one of the hardest things to get off of. Those chickens were calling me. I remember riding down Crenshaw Boulevard one day in Los Angeles, and I had stopped eating my chicken wings because I was the chicken wing master. And every other block, it was a chicken place. And they were calling me. It's like I was losing my mind. Everywhere there was chicken, there was a guy on the corner and he was barbecuing chicken. Chicken was everywhere. And I said, no, I can't. So I started creating the chicken idea. I said, I can't eat the chickens. And I wasn't going to eat the chickens. I went in the store and I was buying some greens. I said, let me get some chard.
Did you say that again? The chickens?
The chickens. The chickens. I said, I have to create another frequency. So I started calling them chickens. So my mind would say that I would not in any way, would not, that we got a not in there, but I was
Right.
tying myself off from that habit. And I was in the store and I had collard greens and chard, and it smelled so good. I was going to make a wonderful, a wonderful dish. And the man came on the speaker, the public address. All right, everybody, chicken is on sale. Go over to the meat counter. With your club card, you can get one wing and buy 1,000 wings for free. You know, they have these crazy things. And, you know, you buy something and you get something else for free. Well, why is it free?
Right.
Why are they giving? You're not giving me the quality stuff over there in aisle 9 of the health food that I don't hear anything about something free, because you have to invest. But what was calling me was that idea, and I was out of balance in my mind. I hadn't gotten chicken out of my mind because I had to do things to dissolve the energy in my cells that was calling for chicken, which were the chicken parasites. Yes.
Right.
There are parasites from food that are in your cells that cause you to desire that food that is creating an imbalance in your system. And it wasn't until I went on a very deep cleanse, was mine at the time, that I was able to break the habit of chicken. But that was
It's the same thing with other addictions, right? Like chicken was an addiction for you. Like alcohol can be an addiction. You have to kill the parasites associated with that addiction. And there are parasites associated with alcoholism. There are parasites associated with any substance that that your body is telling you can't function without. Right. And there are some very strong ones. Alcohol causes withdrawals. So he was going through chicken withdrawals. All these substances, the parasites call for them. And so what modern medicine will tell you is your body is withdrawing from them. What's happening is the parasites are freaking out, trying to make you go and get them what they want. That's what the withdrawals are. And so you have to use the supplements, the cleanse, the parasite cleanse, to restore your body's balance so that it kills the parasites and you no longer desire the things that are eating you.
And I was talking to a scientist one day, and he says, well, you know, Dr. B, you really can't kill all the parasites. And I said, you know, you're right. We're not looking to kill them all. We're looking to put some of them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Make them go into hibernation. We got to put them in stasis so they don't move and they won't affect us. But one of the things that is very important for this season, we just finished, actually yesterday when I was working on that song, editing that track, I was also in the room next to it, finishing the new parasite cleanse program for spring. So we have a brand new program every season. And the question is why? It's because we've picked up some things in each season, right? And we have a certain group of parasites that only live or are active in that season. Well, there's a new group of parasites that are waking up right now, just like the trees and the leaves are waking up, and we're going into spring. We're springing forward, but some of them are springing forward too. So we've got to do something different than what we did before. We can't keep hitting the parasites with the same stuff. And this is like your age-old parasite cleanse. This is the same 5, 6, 7 herbs that we feel are going to kill the parasites when the parasites have mutated. They know about cloves. They know about wormwood and black walnut. The parasites are very intelligent. These are some of the most intelligent creatures on the planet, and they're survivalists. But what we're going to notice that right now, they're saying that we're having one of the worst allergy seasons ever. This is all over the news. People are having an early allergy season because there's more pollen. First of all, let me explain why there's more pollen. Because many years ago, there was a, how should I say, a process where they began to cut down almost all female trees that grew fruit. Did you know about this? They began to cut down the trees that grew fruit. Now, if it was on private property, they couldn't do it. But on public property, they got rid of those trees so that you would have to go to market. You have to go to the mall, you see. And the mall is interesting. You know the word the mall? You know where the word the mall comes from? Them all.
No. Them all. Oh
all,
wow.
all the stores are at the mall. So you used to go to your corner market, and they had things that were in season, and a lot of it was locally grown. You see, so now if you're all your fruit and vegetables, the new lemons, they got lemons now with no seeds. They got limes with no seeds and oranges with no seeds. So this causes you to
Wow.
get into genetically modified foods. When they cut down the female trees, they were forcing people to have to go back to the person that controlled the patents, who controlled the doorway to nutrition. This is a deep thing. So we have more pollen each year because normally the female trees would take in the pollen to create fruit. The male trees are making pollen, which is like they call it the semen of the forest. In fact, right now, the pine trees are popping. If you go close to a pine tree, you hear these little sounds going, and this yellow dust is coming out of what they're not pine cones. They're like the male version of a pine cone, because the pine cone is the female side. They're popping this, what they call semen of the forest, this yellow material, which actually has all the nutrients for all of nature to spring forward new life. So there is more pollen now because there's less females to absorb the pollen.
Mm,
That's why we're having allergy season, and our body is saying it's too much.
right.
So one of the things that we're going to need to do is to have things in our lives like nettle. Nettle really helps the body deal with allergies. Nettle. So
Okay.
in this particular cleanse, we put extra nettle in there. We're using it already, but we used a lot of it this time. And there's a wonderful plant that I picked this morning just for you guys. Here it is. This is cleavers. Cleavers. Now watch what happens. If I take cleavers and I throw it on my shirt, it sticks. It sticks. It sticks to cloth. Cleavers has little hairs that are curved. That is where Velcro comes from. Velcro was created based on the cleavers plant. I got stuff stuck all to my body. People are like, me get the leaves off you. Cleavers, which grows in the spring for the first 4 weeks of spring, nature springs forward cleavers, because cleavers, when you make a tea or make it into a tincture or put it in the cleanse, what it does is the little hooks go to your lymphatic system and they drag all of the toxins out of your lymphatic system, which is your
Wow.
plumbing system.
Right.
Cleavers is important to help clean your lymphatic system in spring, because you've picked up a lot of debris throughout the winter.
Mm-hmm.
You've got old cells that are broken down, that are no longer needed. You've got all of these things that you caught a cold or you went through whatever. In the spring, you gather a whole lot of excess stuff, trash.
Right.
I mean, in the fall, I'm sorry, in the winter. Let me say that again. In the winter, you've picked up a lot of things that you no longer are going to need in the spring. So cleavers grows. Nature is very, very intelligent. It gives you what you need in the season so that you could be more prolific, be better, so you can spring forward. So in this particular cleanse, for the first time, we're using a lot of cleavers to clean out the lymphatic system so that we can also fortify our kidneys. And why kidneys? Because kidneys, they hold on to two vibrations. One is courage. The other one is fear. Kidneys will hold on to courage or fear, depending on the pH, depending on the balance, depending on the frequencies in your body. Your body is looking for balance, and your kidneys will respond. So a lot of folks find they're going through fear right now because that is an after effect of winter. Winter, causes a lot of fear. It's cold. We don't know if spring is going to come. It's a lot of things that are going on in our body. When I say spring, I'm not talking about the spring season, but whether we're going to spring forward in spring or we're going to still have the same vibrational frequency. So this new cleanse, which we just put out, if you're interested, you go to elevationtime.com and you can get the new program, which is amazing, by the way. I just started taking it this morning or today, and it's just got a whole nother vibration. And one other thing I want to say.
I have one question that someone
Yes.
is asking about the cleanse. They were asking, um, does one dropper mean the whole tube or half tube full for the cleanse?
You squeeze the dropper one time, it will automatically come up about an inch. If you just squeeze it one time, it measures itself. It doesn't have to be perfect. So one squeeze is one dropper full. And you're going to do one squeeze the first day, 2 the second day, 3 the third day. Why are we graduating like this, Dr. B? Because the parasites are very intelligent. And if they get the sense that you're trying to annihilate them, they will go into a state of quiescence. They will go into cyst. And a cyst is like a ship, like a home that's fortified, that they go in there and they wait until till the offending thing is gone. So even heat, when you try to heat your food and cook it, you figure, well, I killed the parasites. Well, the parasites go into a cyst and they can withstand up to 1,500 degrees unless the food that you're eating can withstand 1,500 degrees. And like if you take a piece of chicken and you put it on the stove, if first of all, your stove only goes to 500. But if you had a brick oven, right, or a pottery oven, and you put your nice piece of meat in there and you cook it to 1,500 degrees, it's going to turn into a white powder. You may have killed all your parasites. But parasites don't die from cold and heat. Only certain ones, the weak ones, the young ones. So a dropper full, each day you're graduating. 1 the first day, they don't recognize it. 2 the second day, and you keep building until you get to 6 dropper fulls. And this is just of one bottle called the Paracleanse.
The Paracleanse itself.
On that day, you know what? I got some pictures here. Do I have it? Let me see. But on that day, you are at 6 dropper fulls and you've reached what they call critical mass. And the parasites now they can't run. You've got to outsmart them. If you don't outsmart them, they'll outsmart you because they are survivalists. Let me just show a picture of the cleanse here real quick. This is the elevated total body program, at elevationtime.com. And it has also, I want to mention 2 other things before we drop into the next section. But I was told in a dream that I needed to eat tamarind. Tamarind. Do you know the fruit tamarind? Tamarind was throughout this whole dream. Tamarind. Well, tamarind breaks down microplastics. You can't even store tamarind in plastic because it breaks down the plastic.
Wow.
The dream was telling me to add tamarind to the cleanse so that we could break down the plastics. And this is deep. Parasites create what's called a biofilm around them. The biofilm protects them from anything that is offending them. So you try to use, your cloves, your wormwood, or some of the pharmaceuticals that they have for parasites. They create a biofilm protection, a coating to protect them from whatever might be offending their family. Did you know that the parasites have mutated in the last 10 years and are now using the microplastics in the biofilm to protect them from almost anything that you try to hit them with? I don't even if it's natural. So we have to break down the biofilm. Who knows what herbs break down biofilm? Who knows what herbs break down plastic? You've got to break down the biofilm coating that creates the fortress before you can even hit the herbs. And somebody's saying, well, what about diatomaceous earth? Diatomaceous earth cannot break down biofilm. Diatomaceous earth is good for intestinal parasites, but we're talking about the systemic parasites. Diatomaceous earth doesn't go to any part of your body but your gut. Okay? Now, you do get some silica in your system from it, but silica doesn't kill parasites. Most of the things that we've been using for parasites really is like, throwing a cup of water at a bonfire.
Right.
So that's why we created this elevated total body program, and it takes at least 28 days to begin to interrupt their system. But now with tamarind and using cleavers, we are able to break down more of the biofilm and sludge and move it out through the lymphatic system. And one last thing.
Oh, can I answer one question that's in the in the
Go
in
ahead.
the in
Go
the
ahead.
chat? So the cleanse itself is 28 days, and that is one 28-day cycle. That's what you get in each each total body cleanse. So if you're interested in doing 3 consecutive cycles, yes, you would have to purchase 3 consecutive cleanses, or 3 cleanses in order to do that, because the purchase you would definitely need to purchase 3 for 3 months if you're interested in doing that 90-day transformation that I was referencing. Okay, I just wanted to answer that because there's a lot of questions popping up, Dr.
Okay.
B.
Okay.
And so there's another question as you do this is, what's the difference between the total body para cleanse and the Sirius rejuvenation, since they're both parasite cleanse programs?
So there's the elevated total body program, which
Mhm.
is one that deals with spiritual parasites and superbugs like toxoplasma, like malaria. A lot of folks have the residual effects of malaria, or what they call them miasma, or energy field of malaria in their systems just from their ancestors. You see, so the total body program deals with your systemic parasites, your average systemic parasites that live throughout the system. The elevated total body program it goes much deeper. It deals with superbugs. Like I say, so that's toxoplasma, which is, the mind control parasite that 70% of the people have, which caused them to feel cheap, to feel less, to speak the language of disempowerment. Toxoplasma will have you out of your mind. Most people have lost their true courage because of toxoplasma. The elevated program deals with those superbugs. Many of those parasites have been created through as biological weapons of war that they dropped on certain countries, certain neighborhoods, and now that is in the clouds, it's in the rain, it's in the water, it's in our drinking water all over the world. We've got these biological entities that were created for war. How are you going to deal with them? Your average parasite cleanse can't touch them. That's why we created this elevated total body program for those superbugs. But now the total body program is very good. It deals
Mhm.
with your average systemic parasites. So that was our first program that we made many years ago. It started in
Right.
1996. But then we graduated to the elevated for folks who would like to go all the way, to that next level. Now, one thing somebody was saying about bromelain really quickly. Bromelain, which comes from pineapples, it is an enzyme. It is very good for helping you digest food. It's not going to kill systemic parasites. In fact, there are very few substances on the planet that will kill or get rid of or eliminate or reduce systemic parasites. It's going to take a certain types of herbs. It's going to take essential oils, very specific essential oils in a certain sequence, flower essences. You're going to use crystal waters, which is all in the cleanse, they call crystal elixirs, and light. We actually found a way to put light frequencies with this quantum light frequency in every bottle. So this is a very deep thing. It's complex. And the parasites, they control a lot of our thinking. So we want the cheap and the easy way to do this. They are controlling your mind. So we now have this new version of the elevated total body program at elevationtime.com. And if you use the code Spring 2026, you'll get 15% off of everything at the Elevation Time website until Sunday at midnight. That's this Sunday. This is a special we're doing for spring. Also, most of the products are on sale anyway. So you're going to get another 15% off if you use that code, which is Spring 2026. And if you become a member of Elevation, you join the membership, guess what? You get 10% off of everything all the time. And there's a lot of things inside that membership dashboard that are gifts and things that you can use as tools to help you ascend at elevationtime.com.
Spring 2026 is the code. And just for those of you who are asking about the drum, that spring 2026 will also give you a discount on the drum. I just thought I'd throw that in because I'm still vibrating on the frequency of what was played um, with the drum. And so I will say that the total body cleanse and the elevated total body cleanse are essential. The book is essential because it is a tool that works with the total body cleanse and the music that you can download with the purchase of this book, or the music that you can purchase, the medicine music. If you don't buy the drum, at least get the medicine music. If you don't try the drum, absolutely get the medicine music. Let me change my language, because the three together assist in that transformation for you. And so remember to use the code Spring 2026 when you make your purchase. Um, we are at the Equinox. Spring is now, and cleansing right now is really, really good for you. Um, we're looking at, if we're just going to do a balance check in, we're looking at creating balance mentally, emotionally, physically. And so we're talking about how to physically create balance with the total body programs, whether it's the elevated total body or the total body program. With this is the way to physically do it, right? And so yes, 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 the medicine drum vibrates one's body at the core and inner core. Thank you, butterfly kiss. It's time. Yes, that music creates such um, synergy in your whole body being. In my space, I feel the vibration of that, of the music in my space, um, as I sit here. And so, um, is there a nutritional guide in the packet? Yes, there's a handbook there's a handbook in the back package that can tell you. And so one of the questions is, do you have a diet meal preparation coaching to maintain healthy body after the cleanse protocol? I'll tell you this, um, the cleanse has recommendations. Doing the cleanse for 28 days for me was wonderful. Doing the cleanse for 3 consecutive 28-day cycles changed my life. And so when you ask about a diet meal preparation, you're not going to do a diet. You're going to adjust a lifestyle. And that's what I found. My lifestyle adjusted by doing the cleanse and eating healthy and preparing um, my own salad dressings. If you take sugar out of your diet, right? Everyone's saying vegan, 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 vegan. It doesn't. Vegan, schmegan. There's benefits. There's benefits to being vegan, but removing sugar from your diet and the fructose and all these other things that are in our diets that are banned in Europe changes. So you're changing a lifestyle. And when you start making your own salad dressings and making your own sauces and making your own things to complement your food and removing that high fructose corn syrup and removing sugar, processed sugar, and replacing those things, you're not going to do a diet. You're going to adjust your lifestyle.
One of the things that the cleanse is, it's set up based on rhythm and sound. As you know, I'm a composer, I'm a musician, I'm a drummer. So this 28-day rhythm creates the theta state. The theta state is the place where you are in meditation. It's the place that we create from. It's the place in between sleeping and awake. That period just before you realize who you are, when you wake up in the morning, that's the theta state, the same place we get to when we properly meditate. And we're in the total creative mode in that theta state. So the cleanse is creating a theta state frequency, rhythm, sound, vibration There's music. I have embedded music and sound in the herbs. I don't know of anyone who's been able to do this. There may be someone, but I realize that some types of parasites, they are frequency based. There are parasites that are not physical, they're energetic. They're spiritual or energetic parasites.
Mhm.
The cleanse is working on the physical part of you that's binding the spiritual parasites to you. So you know how we go to these spiritual meetings and we go to these spiritual events, and some folks have been that were guided mentally through spiritual activities. Meanwhile, the parasites are waiting. They're like, okay, we're going to let you do this. You're going to burn your sage and we're going to go through this whole process. But basically, that is conscious.
Mhm.
But what's happening in the body has a frequency resonance that's holding on to the things that are energetically affecting you, that are eating you.
Right.
I don't know if I'm explaining this clearly enough, that we can do spiritual, physical, conscious things in our mind that are, to keep us spiritual
Right.
cleansing. If the body is toxic, if the frequency of each cell is not vibrating in harmony or in tandem or in parallel with those frequencies that we're mentally emitting, the body is going to be stronger, because the body is what we live in. Parasites, I'm talking about systemic parasites. These are the ones that live throughout the systems. So I want to make sure everybody knows the difference between a average parasite, which those cleanses that work on the colon are very good. We're talking about systemic parasites. They live in the heart, they live in the
Mhm.
kidney, in the liver. You were talking about alcoholism earlier. There
Mhm.
is a fluke worm that infects the liver, that causes or creates the vibration of alcoholism. There is a parasite for most folks that have diabetes. They have a
Mhm.
pancreatic fluke worm, or they have a microbacteria that is creating a frequency of distress on the cells of their body, of the cells of the cells which are not picking up the frequency of sugar correctly. So those are the receptors. There's
Right.
receptors on every cell that sometimes become broken, and sometimes they rust, so the body can't recognize sugar.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things that are happening in the body that parasites affect. In fact, parasites can be a part of almost every disease. I don't care what it is. Parasites, toxins, heavy metals, you see, microplastics, fungus, yeast, all of these things are a part of what we call dis-ease. And as we move into spring, it's important for us to move and to let that stuff go, to move it out, to
Right.
create more balance. And
Right.
that's what this particular cleanse is helping us do. And it's not just the herbs that's doing it, it's the frequency of when you take them, because there's a formula of how to take this so that you graduate in spring into a new season and detoxify even those spiritual parasites that are holding on tight, just waiting for you to slip.
Right. There's a food guide that will help you remove sugars and gluten and lectins from your diet. The food guide inside the cleanse is very, very helpful. There is a question about coconut sugar, Dr. B.
Coconut sugar is very good for you.
Okay.
It's
So
not
then,
made from like regular sugar. It's not from a root. It's not from a sugar cane. It's from the flowers of coconut palms. It's a resin that drips from the flowers in the morning. So when your body, when you intake that type of sugar, the body doesn't recognize it as a regular sugar, and it takes a long time to break down. It has a very low glycemic index. Glycemic index has to do with how quickly a sugar hits the blood. So regular white processed sugar is at 99. It hits your blood instantly. Coconut sugar is down about somewhere between 20 on the glycemic index. So it now has to be broken down slowly by your by your microbiota, by your friendly bacteria over time. So it doesn't affect your blood as quickly, but it tastes very good and it's very good for you. In fact, my tea right now, this is sweetened with coconut sugar.
And so we're getting a lot of really good questions in the chat, and we're trying to make sure that we answer them all. And fasting is not a requirement, Lawrence, but it is very good for your body to fast. You have to give your body a break from digesting and doing the work, but fasting is not a requirement of the cleanse. Um, and we will be doing a broadcast that just talks about the physical elements and benefits of the cleanse and is purely physical. Right now with the equinox, we're touching on everything. But we will just be in the future, we will be doing some things that are specifically only physical. We'll do some mental, emotional, language driven. Like we're putting together, and we will be having in May a I want to call it a retreat because retreat keeps coming up, but we are planning a retreat. But we will be doing in Atlanta, we'll be hosting in May a very special. So please be on the lookout for that. We're going to be hosting a very special workshop series. It may be 2 days. We haven't confirmed it yet, but it's coming and it'll be very special. It's all about language. It's all about being able to really create and what language creates. And so be on the lookout for that. That's coming up. We'll be announcing that very, very soon. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter as of yet, please make sure that you do. If you were sent a link to join the broadcast today by someone, please go to the elevationtime.com and sign up for the newsletter so that you can be abreast of when we are doing this fantastic workshop that is all about the language, right? When someone asks, is palm sugar the same as coconut sugar, Dr.
Yes, it is. Coconut is a palm. That's coconut palm. They're the same. Someone else asked about date sugar. That's another one. Very good for you. Date sugar is excellent. Coconut sugar is excellent. Yeah, those are all. And monk fruit is amazing. Monk fruit is
I love monk fruit. Yes.
It's probably one of the best sugars there is. It's amazing.
So as we look at balance, right, and we're talking about where you feel out of balance, where do you feel out of balance? Is it a mental thing that's not just imbalance? Is it an emotional thing that's not just imbalance? Are you physically not imbalanced or spiritually? And there's a question in there, can drug addictions be cleansed? And I think that you have to take into consideration that drug addiction is an addiction. There are herbs that can assist with addiction depending on the drug. And then as you do that, dealing with the addictions, you then cleanse to get rid of the parasites that are associated with the addiction. But can drug addictions be cleansed? It's a process, and it depends on what the addiction is. If you're dealing with alcohol, there are protocols that Dr. B can give you, and then you cleanse. And so everything is individual to a person. So I don't want to give a generalized statement that all drug addictions can be cleansed with blah, blah, blah. It's an individualized thing according to the drug and how it affects the body, what it's attaching to. So there are different protocols for different types of addictions. They can be cleansed, but it's an addiction is something that has to be taken seriously because it's mind, body, and spirit. So you have to do some mental work. Hypnotherapy works with it. There's multiple levels of moving away from addiction and cleansing the body and removing the parasites.
Agave, we have to be careful because there's a lot of processing that goes on with agave. But if you're going to use it, use the dark agave, the darkest colored one. It's an okay choice. It's better than white processed sugar. But what we need to realize, since we're talking about drugs, that white processed sugar is classified as a drug. It is more difficult to get off sugar than it is many drugs. Many drugs we can help you get off within 3 months. In fact, if you're really interested, if you're dealing with certain habits and you'd like to break them, we do consultations. I know Dawn is available for consultations, and I am now doing consultations again for the subconscious alignment. And we even have another person. If you're dealing with things that have to do with your what you call past life, there's a person that helps us that does past life regressions, or that's not, well, I don't want to, I like, we're going to call it what they call it, but it's
Past life
different.
regression, yeah.
Everything is happening right now. Actually, it's just on different frequencies, but they got to name it something. So there are three of us now here that will do consultations with you. And I would say that many of us need to actually deal with all three of these different types of consultations. Dawn, this thing that you've got going on with women is amazing, because a lot of women come to Dr. B about women stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm not a, 80-year-old, woman sitting out by the river with that voice, that what you should do is just get rid of him. So we have Dawn now, and she brings a very special way of dealing with a lot of the female issues. So I don't know if you guys have gotten her email. Let's make sure that that is in the chat. Also, subconscious alignment. I am now doing those on a very special basis. And also, we're now doing groups. If you'd like to have a group of people get a consultation or even a class or a workshop, we can do Zoom. Or if you're looking to balance a whole group of people, we're now offering situations where we could do that. Some of it we can do online. We'll actually come to you if the situation is, right. We'll make sure that we help your group, your family, or even you personally, while you're flying on your jet from your private jet. We can do consultations on your private jet, because, it's interesting, Dawn, and I know you know a lot about this. The wealthiest people, the richest people seem to have the most issues. They've
Yes.
got
Yes.
all the physical stuff. They got the car, they got the planes, they got the houses. Can you talk a little bit about that? Why sometimes people who seem to have all their issues handled with money may not be totally balanced or in homeostasis?
Well, see, money alone doesn't create balance and doesn't create happiness. You can't buy happiness. You can't buy joy. Let's start with that. You cannot buy joy. And sometimes people are so focused on the finance that the other areas of their existence become out of balance. And they forget about the human part, right? There's a human part that is connected to balance, that when you're so focused on the financial, you lose sight, right? And so I have a number of very wealthy clients who seem to have everything physically that they want, but they can't find the balance in the other realms, right? They've got millions and millions of dollars, but they move away. They're unable to create or find the balance in the simplest thing. They don't have the balance in their home life, with family, with community. There are a lot of wealthy people that are unable to connect for real with community. And there's a lot of fear because they've married the money. They've made the money everything, and they've lost sight of human touch, of they're emotionally disconnected, so they're deregulated. Their nervous systems are deregulated because money doesn't have a frequency that human connection does. And so they get so attached that they're deregulated. Their nervous systems are out of whack. I mean, it's so much deeper than that. When I do hypnotherapy with the same population that we're talking about, we have to sometimes work on just finding their true suggestibility, because they're very good at convincing themselves, and they're masters at manifesting the financial, but they've lost sight of human connection. They've lost sight of connection sometimes to earth, sometimes to so grounding and all of that. Every situation is individual. But what happens is one area, and it just takes one area to be out of sync, right? So you have your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. And if one area is out of sync, you're out of sync, right? And so if you're overly connected here, there's something else that's missing. You've got someone that's a billionaire and they don't have children, they've got 7 dogs. Um, and then you're a woman, you're missing that. Your womb didn't get to do certain things. And so how do we balance that out? And you may be overly centered in your masculine. So each situation is different, right? And every person is different, but it's about balance and it's about connection, right? And so this is why it's so important to seasonally check in and say, where is my life and how do I feel out of balance? And what one adjustment can I make immediately to create that balance, right? And so spring cleaning happens. And then your grandmother, it's time to do spring cleaning. Spring cleaning, we heard it over and over again. But think about spring cleaning in the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual realms, right? What am I ready to release in this season? Am I releasing thoughts? Am I releasing habits? Am I releasing relationships and attachments? Because possession happens in relationships, which can be a distraction. Am I releasing an old identity that I've outgrown? What's your release statement? Let's write that out. Let's spend a moment and look at what we're releasing in this space. I am ready to release what in this season? I release. Just like we allow, we release. What are you releasing in this season that is going to help create? It's going to make that one adjustment immediately to help create balance, right? So what are you releasing? Are you releasing thoughts? Are you releasing habits? Are you releasing relational attachments? Are you releasing an old identity that you've outgrown? I release and make that statement. What am I ready to release? To release, rather.
And let's take that when you're ready and upgrade it to the next level. Once you get your I, ready for this?
We're going back to chapter 17.
Now replace I with your name. Replace the word I with your name, and it disconnects it from the right now you.
Okay.
So when you write out your list and write the way you normally write, then go back to your list and take each one of those things. John is releasing. John is letting go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
Take I
So as we're
and replace it with the name and begin to speak in third person. It is amazing. Just try it right now. Just say what it is you desire and say your name.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Jenny.
So when you're saying so, especially if you're releasing attachments to people.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Right. So you say your name and their name. Dawn is releasing whatever that is. Dawn is releasing Ken. Dawn is releasing. It's so powerful. Place your name there. And if you're releasing that old identity, name that old identity. And if you're releasing that relationship, name that relationship.
And if you would like to attract something, or you'd like to move towards something, or you have a goal, also put that name in there. Don't say I, because I is causing you to have gravity, and you're going to feel resistance in yourself because your I is where the issue is. That's the ego. Move it away from you, make it something outside of you, third person, and all of a sudden things begin to flow. So for this next week, just look at where you're saying I and speak in third person, whether it's something you would like to let go of, move away from, or something you'd like to gain. Let's try that.
So we did our release, and now we're doing new season activation. I'm receiving what I'm calling into my life, the energy I want to embody, the energy that Dawn
Hmm.
desires
Yes.
to embody, opportunities that Dawn desires to attract, the version of Dawn that I am becoming. Be, do, have.
What are you being?
And what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And
And
what
that
is it
will
that you desire to
to
have?
have. Wow.
And we
It,
can live in the present and say, what are you being? What are you doing? And what are you having right
right now.
now?
And then being grateful for whatever it is you desire as if it's already happened. Feeling
Exactly.
it, not just seeing it. Because we were taught to see first. See,
Right.
I remember when I was in school studying psychological kinesiology, and they would say to see it in your mind. They had a whole thing about seeing it. Then they
Mm-hmm.
said, hear what it's going to sound like when you're there, and then
Mm-hmm.
feel what it's going to feel like when you're at your desired goal. And when I started doing the psychological kinesiology with clients, it didn't work. It only worked for one group of people. I'm not going to mention who they are, but one group of people, it worked well for them. But the vast majority of people, the majority, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
work. Why? Because most of the people in the world, their feeling is the most powerful thing they have. Feel something as if it's happened. Imagine you're feeling your desired goal as if it's happened. Dream time the feeling of what you desire as if it's happening. Play with it like a child in your imaginal self. Imagine that what you desire has happened. Feel it first. Then hear what it's going to sound like. What can you hear yourself saying? What will other people be saying? Then see it. We got to flip it around because we've been taught in this system, which is about control, to see things. And you don't have as much power in the seeing. You have more power in the feeling than you do because the body is feeling. When they say, your heart and your brain have to be, in the heart brain coherence has got to do it. Your heart has got to do with the body and feeling. Your brain has got to do with possibilities and thoughts and waves. That's what you're thinking. But to get your thinking and what you desire in waves to become particles, to become part of your body, you've got to have it. You got to know it by heart. You've got to feel it. So feel things as if they've happened. Feel it and be grateful as if it's already happened. And even though it feels like, oh my, this is not working, Dr. B, you've got to do the repetition because it's the repetition of pleasure or pain that creates your mind state, which creates your outcome. It is the repetition of pleasure or pain. So you constantly keep doing this every day for at least 7 minutes. Just
Right.
imagine you are at the place that you would like. Smell it.
Right.
What does it feel like? What does it look like? What are people saying? And those little changes will help you spring into another place and create a whole brain state. What
Right.
is a whole brain state? A whole brain state is when both sides of your brain are working in balance. Your brain is ready for you to live in a state of equality, a state of equinox, a state of equilibrium. Left brain, right brain, male brain, female brain, the intuitive mind, the logical mind, when we get them in a whole brain state where we can use everything, right, at one time, we now create balance.
Mm-hmm.
A whole brain state is extremely important. And we're going to be on our retreats and in our classes and workshops, we're going to be working to, or we're going to be playing to create that whole brain state so that now we create a whole universe around ourselves. So this is a Taurus field. This is the energy that is around our body. This is what we might call our spirit soul energy field. You see, if one part of it is off, then it's not going to create this beautiful apple looking, what they call toroidal transformers. We're toroidal transformers, and energy moves in waves around us, just like this picture. Our brain is set up to work that way. But when we're in lack, limitation, not enoughness, sadness, and we speak the language of disempowerment, this whole image, this whole biofield collapses on itself. And you can't move. You in no way are moving forward. That's another way of saying can't. Say in no way. So we are creating this toroidal transformer with these new words by, letting go of things like nice. We don't need to be nice. Look at what people, how they talk when they're nice. Oh, hi, you're so nice. Oh, you're so stupid. You're so foolish. Because those languages were created to keep the sheep on the farm. We're breaking out of the farm. How many of you are ready to break away from the farm? How many of you are ready to move towards your vibrational field that was created for you at the beginning? Master mushroom tonic.
Right.
Mushrooms. The mushroom tonic is in the elevated total body program. Why? Because mushrooms, these 12 special medicinal magic mushrooms, they're not the magic mushrooms. They're not the psilocybin, not in this one. It's not in this, but mushrooms can recognize your DNA and begin to move things out of your system that is not a part of your natural order. That's why this particular product is amazing. You can get it on its own too, but it can clean up things that parasites cannot. I mean, that herbs cannot.
The Master Mushroom Tonic is a part of the Elevated Total Body Cleanse, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then there's a question. What about the X factor? So the question is the mushroom elixir included in the kit? Yes, it is. And if that's the mental paracleanse, or do we need to order the X factor for the mental part of the paracleanse?
X factor is for things that look and act like viruses, the unknown. Viruses have never really been seen. And, other than what we have been told, there's a whole nother concept. Most of science is theories. Okay. No one has seen what they call HIV under a microscope. They haven't located it. There's another one that's really popular right now that nobody has seen. You see, these are ideas. These are concepts based on theories. But there is energy fields that cannot be seen. They're in the unknown. They're in between the physical and the mental, and the physical and the etheric. That's what mushrooms can deal with. Mushrooms, because mushrooms create the frequency of life. Without mushrooms, without the mycelium network, we couldn't exist. They're everywhere. They're in the air. They're in the water. You couldn't have healthy soil without, these mycelium.
Right.
So this group of mycelium we've put together in a way that helps your body recognize what's for it. And this is something that we would call a adaptogen. An adaptogen, or a tonic, is a substance that adapts to the environment. Mushroom tonic adapts to the environment, and it tonifies. That's why they call it a tonic. It puts out frequencies that help your cells eliminate what is toxic in them. So there's things in your cells that are toxic that have been there ever since you took your first shots as a child. So mushroom tonic is going to move things out of your body that are not part of your natural DNA encoding. X factor is going to look for virus-like material. All of us have virus-like material in our bodies, especially if you took the pandemic shot. Okay, we've have it. Even if you caught a virus anytime in the past, you still have it. You never can get totally rid of viruses, but you can reduce their effectivity, and that's what X factor is. And X factor does not. The X factor in no way is in the elevated program. It's an add-on. That's dealing with viruses. I know I said a lot. My highest praise is that I'm explaining these things clearly.
You are explaining them clearly, and I think that even with the question, a statement that people must be ready to heal themselves, and I say yes, they must be ready to heal themselves. And I will tell you that the word healthy self is heal thyself, right? If you say healthy self and you bring it together, it's heal thyself. You have to be ready to heal yourself. And so this process, your cleansing, your mind, your body, your spirit. Golden Kiss, you were talking about your aura feeling like it was depleted. Reiki can help with that, right? A Reiki session can help you rebalance, and it can also help clear your auric field. And so, yes, we all need to break out of the forums. And so someone asked, can this help my son who has autism level 3 with global development? My question is, you're asking what? Are you asking about the mushrooms helping your son? What are you asking about it? Because your question's a little bit vague. What I do want to kind of reemphasize is spring 2026 is a discount code that you use to get discounts. If you have a question that we haven't been able to answer, please send it via email. You can send it to Dawn Osborne, that's DAWNOSBORNE 777 at gmail.com, and we'll get your answers back to you. Look for the next newsletter. We will be announcing an in-person workshop in Atlanta. We will be planning, and that will be in May. And we'll be setting dates for not only just doing workshops and conferences around the country, but we are also taking invitations for dates for the book tour for What's Eating You, right? Because we are going to do a book tour. And so we have an ambassador program and different things where you can become an ambassador. You can host part of the book tour. If you're interested, please just reach out to us. Heaven on Earth is one of my favorite products, the anti-stress, mood, nervous system rejuvenation, heart tonic. It's also my son, when my son had surgery, he had torn his ACL, and I did not want him on the pain medicine that the doctors were issuing. I used Heaven on Earth with him as he rehabbed a torn ACL, and he didn't use any narcotics. It was just the Heaven on Earth. It's amazing.
Someone is asking the priority for the protocol. Should they do the cleanse first, then the X factor? If you're able to do it all together in tandem, you'll see amazing results. But you'll have to go with what you feel. And also some of the health related questions, we have to be careful mentioning things on the air because there's a group of people who are listening for us to say certain things that triggers them to want to ban us. So those questions you can send to Dawn. um Also, like I said, we also have a network of people that we may send you to if you have certain goals in mind. So there's a person that deals with nothing but organizing, helping you organize your house, your home. Another person that deals nothing but with gluten is a big issue, and it's a challenge to deal with gluten. And we will also send you those people if need be. But Dawn, before we go, let's
Mhm.
talk about one of your other favorites. You've had so much to say about platinum. Tell us about your
Oh,
experience with the platinum monatomic elixir.
where do I begin? There's magic in that bottle. Um, as you experience the Platinum Life Elixir, it is, I don't, I, that's a hard one for me to describe my experience because it's ascension on another level that I don't necessarily, as a wordsmith, as a writer, I can't grasp the words to say anything other than it's magical because I experience ascension on a level that I don't have words to describe. Um, the Platinum Life Elixir, um, as it uh, repairs your telomeres, and it may be I experienced the ascension because of the telomere repair matched with my natural intuitive gifts and how it enhanced my intuition as I felt the heavy metals just leave my body. It created a place of magical ascension through repair, the enhancement of my intuition, and then the release of heavy metals. I was on a cloud. It was amazing. Platinum Life Elixir is an amazing um, tool that enhanced my ascension. There we go. That's how I'll summarize it.
Platinum Life has changed the lives of a lot of folks because what you're calling the third eye is actually your first eye. And it has been affected by things like fluoride, which is in water, which helps to calcify all of your glands, including the pineal. But the platinum helps to energize your first eye so that you can see things before they happen on the event horizon. You can feel things that your two eyes and your ears and your body is it's not able to pick up yet. So this is for folks who are looking to move into the place of just knowing, tapping into the knowing of the universe. But like Don was saying, those heavy metals, that is a real special thing. And this is the only thing that we know of, these humic and fulvic acids that are in this product that can help to get those heavy metals, which causes us to be living a life that's based on fractured energy. Because yeah, that's a whole class. We have to do a whole class on the heavy metals. But yes, Platinum Life Elixir, and there is a new version right now. In fact, most of the products that we offer here at Elevation, we recreate for each season. But it's about being able to focus too, to focus on your new goal. This spring, you know, it's you got to focus on a goal, and you got to watch the mass distraction, the news, what people are saying, what people are doing, even the social media. Sometimes it's just way too much. So we may want to look at taking a break, at least for certain parts of the day or certain parts of the week or a whole month of some of the social media distractions and get focused. So focus is one of our favorites here. In fact, that's what I'm on right now. I'm high on a little
I
focus.
love focus mixed with passion. That's my thing. Focus and passion together with a little bacopa. I have my own tonics. But focus mixed with passion is everything. Passion is something that you just have to experience. But those two together are amazing. I think the one thing that you have to do and that you can do over time is experiencing them all. Um, and Lash Bed Tales, please just email me and then we can go more into some of the questions that you have because we are at 10:05. We try to stay on target with our time. And so we're unable to answer that, but please email Dawn Osborne 777 at gmail.com with your questions and we will get them answered for you to the best of our ability. This has been a wonderful, wonderful time with all of you. I thank you for all of the comments and questions that have made this so very, very rich and full. Hopefully, it's been fulfilling for you. Um, my guidance to you would be to look at your new season activation and utilize the tools that are available for ascension, right? Those tools are going to assist you in ascending mind, body, and spirit. Um, this has been an amazing time. Um, and I will say amazing, right? Because
Mhm.
I think I would say everyone needs the cleanse, what's eating you, and the medicine use, because that combination is um, that combination is the perfect combination to have in your toolbox for ascension. And so I thank you. I'm I'm grateful for this time that we've been able to spend together. And we'll be back. I don't know exactly when, but look forward to our May date in person in Atlanta. We'd love to have all of you join us. however many that is. And if you can and you're interested, purchase the drum, because the drum, the book, and the cleanse together creates another level for you. Dr. B.
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for joining in with this time and investing this vibration and becoming, more balanced in a state of homeostasis together. And there was one question that we didn't answer. Several folks asked about the Master Tonic Elixir. It's for energetic protection, and we were out of it for a long time. It's back now. That's Dr. B's Master Tonic Elixir. It helps to protect you from those frequencies that are out there that you in no way would like to have in your energy field. If you feel like somebody put something on you, if you're very sensitive to environments, then you can put it on your skin, you can put it on your wrist, you can take it, but that is a very powerful way of moving in a space where you are totally in control of your life without all the other frequencies. So thank you very much for being here. Go to elevationtime.com, and please, if you're not on the email list, get on the email list. If you're interested in being a member so that you can receive 10% off of everything that you order from now on, do that. But it's about doing. It's about being who you're saying you're being and not faking it. A lot of folks today are into the fake up. We're faking so many things. It's artificial intelligence is not something just with a computer. It's got to do with people now. People have become very artificial, and that's okay for them to do that if that's what they need. What are you? Are you ready to be real? Be real. Be intentional and be focused. Be righteous. Be loving. Be caring. Then you can do, and have what it is you desire. So thank you very much. We're going to log off. I'm going to play once again the new video music track, Equinox, and we'll see you again. If it's in alignment, we'll see you next week. Okay. Thank you. Travel light. You don't need all that luggage. myself to be my best self. To be creative. And to let go. I allow myself to live an elevated life, to stay focused